What's going on? How are
I'm
you?
really actually happy to be here. I specifically asked to be in this room because I'd seen it so many times and so many great things come out of this room.
Well, the Instagram lives.
Oh, yeah.
It's like my little habitat. And if I go missing, this is where you find me.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
introduce yourself for people who just don't actually know you.
So my name is Julian, Juls for short. I'm in East London now via Ghana, and I am a music producer, DJ, and songwriter.
First of all, I want to ask, how are you? Because I feel like it's very important right now, especially after all these pandemics, for us to make sure that we are all okay with each other. So just how have you been in general? And how are you mentally?
I can't lie, it's been a very rough period, I guess, for everybody. We've lost opportunities, we've lost money.
Yeah.
We've recently lost close ones as well.
Yes.
So that's been very difficult to get by, but sometimes you try to look at things in a positive light. I feel like we all need healing, and we all need we need to live life, to be honest. We need to create moments. I think, me personally, I'm at a point where the bickering and complaining and unnecessary arguments, and if there was a situation you had with someone or you fell out, I'm at a point where I just don't want any problems with anybody, and I just want to be at peace and just provide food on the table for my family and stuff like that. Leave a legacy. We never know when we're gonna go, so live life to the fullest and just stay prayed up, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. So this is the second or third time I've actually met you, and the first time I met you was at a DJ Tunes Blackout event.
Okay.
And I remember I think I went outside for a minute and I saw you and I was like, oh, would you like to come in? Are you Jules? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, okay, no worries, I'll get Frank for you.
I remember that.
That's the first time I met you. The second
that.
time I met you was at YC's listening party.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
The third time I met you, well, I didn't meet you, but I saw you and I was quite surprised to see you there, was at the Vigo Deeps event. But we've never really introduced ourselves, and I've never really had a deep conversation with you. But I say that to say, tell me where you're from, where you grew up, your family life.
We've been a lot of places, but I was born in Clapton, which is in Hackney, which is a very gentrified area now to where it used to be. It was very rough, actually, and our dad moved us, outside London to Hertfordshire, Stevenage, which at the time was predominantly white. So I think we were probably 3 black families in that area at the time.
Yeah.
It was us, Nigerians, because Nigerians are everywhere.
Yeah.
And,
that's no lie.
And then I think Sierra Leoneans, yes. So we were there, and then I think when I was a teenager, my dad got this sick job back home in Ghana, and he always wanted to go back.
Yeah.
He always had this thing of you can't really be in another man's land for too long. He came here for education and a better living. So he got the opportunity, and we moved to Ghana, where I did my last bit of secondary school.
How old were you?
13.
Okay.
13, 12, 13. So I did my last bit of secondary school there in uni. And I think But even when we had left, we were always here every summer. So it's like we never really left London, to be fair.
I think your parents might have done that on purpose since you grew up here.
I think it was, yeah.
Did you find it hard to like marry the two different environments? Like Ghana and London is a little bit different.
When we moved, in the beginning, I won't lie, it was very weird. Because imagine, just leaving a predominantly white neighborhood and then you just come to this place where you see so many black people. And you were also seen as an outsider because, who's this...
Yeah, you're not the same.
...black British boy that feels like he's all... Do you know what I'm saying? So it was a culture shock. We would get teased sometimes. But we had to learn quick. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we had to learn quick, and we did. I won't lie. We had to learn quick, but we enjoyed it. I feel like that's where my musical journey began, really.
Yeah, that was my next question. Yeah. Like, do you think is that where you fell in love with music?
Yeah, absolutely. The music was different. I remember the first artist that I heard ever was called Your Entry.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big Ghanaian artist. Mr. Music Man, that was the name of the album. My uncle used to play it all the time. Then I got exposed to other Ghanaian artists. But it was High Life, really. So I just remember hearing High Life and, you compare it to some of the stuff that you heard, like jazz, that my dad plays all the time. My dad has like this massive jazz collection. Any artist that you can imagine.
Do you think that's a heavy influence on your sound right now? Because I hear your music and I'm just like, okay, jazz,
Yeah, I definitely, my dad's collection and my mom's music collection had an influence on, the sound I started creating. Because it's very mellow.
Yeah.
It's very, soothing, I guess. But, sometimes you want to make it a little bit more energetic, so you add some African elements in there.
Yeah.
And so that side probably comes from different parts of Africa, like South Africa, because of how heavy your bass and your drums are, and the rhythm as well. So it's just influences from not what I listen to, but what I've been exposed to. And being a DJ, we have to be very experimental and explorative in the music that we listen to.
Yeah, that's true.
So when you hear different, genres, you're just trying to understand, why does it sound like this, why does it sound like that? And when you come back to the UK, you hear stuff like funky house and then garage, and you just hear all these instruments, and it's just like, all these instruments are very African percussive.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of influence there, but it's just like because of the transatlantic slave and, us being lost in so many ways or forms, if you don't do your research, you can't really trace certain things. So people started claiming certain things. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like, you are respected because you're a DJ, or you're respected because, you're a producer, or that you actually respect music?
I don't know what I'm perceived as, to be honest. All I know is that I'm trying to make, good music that reflects or expresses who I am or the mood I'm in. And from what I know, some people like it, some people love it, some people are in, some people don't, and I guess that's just how it is. But I want to say that I have dictated or pioneered a certain sound.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I agree.
In a way where, it changed things and it set a different sort of era. And so I guess I'm looked at as that person, as into, okay, what's he going to do next? And then we all just follow suit. But they'll never say it.
Yeah.
But that's my perception anyway, which is fine. I mean, it's great to set trends. And it's also good to, dictate the way that certain things should go. Because I guess I have a very good ear for certain things. I make very good predictions with regards to where I feel like music is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And, we all have ideas. and you know, our theories and how we think things can be better. But you know, it just takes hard work and determination.
Do you think that UK specifically has had an influence in how now other countries perceive African music? Because I believe that Burna Boy's music really started popping when UK people started, you know, celebrating it. Wizkid, you know, the Banky W's back in the day, and D'banjs and all of them, they all used to come and do their shows here. Do you think that's what helped, you know, make African music more commercial?
Yeah, I think it definitely started from the UK. I think probably from like 2009, 2008, 2009.
2008, 2009.
And you know, at first it was really high life and Nigerian pop music, and you know, a couple of quieter songs here and there, and you know, some South African house as well. A lot of the DJs were mixing it in, so they were slightly playing them in like your typical UK funky,
Yeah.
and you know, dancehall sets because of the tempo. And they started off with some particular sounds, and when people liked those particular sounds, the DJs started being very experimental and adding more of those songs to the playlists, right? So, you know, DJs like Abranti and DJ Abbas, and you know, where if you want to go even deeper, like the universities, like you know,
Yeah.
Afro B and Neptizzle and P Montana, and so many DJs, Fifi, you know, the university scene. A lot of the Africans were like, we hear these songs in our houses, but we never hear them in the club. So
Yeah.
now that we started introducing it to the playlist, it started getting popular. And what would happen is Christmas time, some of us will go back home and we'll hear that these are the songs that are popping back home. We'll come back to London and we're like, listen, when we went for holidays, this is what we were hearing when we were out in the clubs and stuff. Then he continued to start playing them even more. And I guess the popularity of these songs in the UK started drawing interest from, you know, people back home, and they're like, okay, they really love us there.
Yeah.
For us to build, we need to probably travel. Obviously, you know the difficulty with Africans in being able to secure their visas and able to travel.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's where the promoters came in. So promoters like Toba and
I remember Tokwa.
and Smade, Remu, from Cocoa Bar. They were literally, you know, being able to bring, you know, the likes of Wiz and, you know, David and other big, you know,
Big
Nigerian
acts,
acts that we, and just like even the Ghanaian artists like Aquaba and West Coast, they're able to bring down, you know, Sarkodie and R2Bs and all the artists that were popping at the time.
Yeah.
So they started to build a fan base, and I guess that's kind of like what literally built the whole culture. Obviously, people were looking at it like, what's all this hype about? You know, and then it's just started getting bigger arenas, you know, and then us just making a lot more noise.
Yeah. I actually realized that a lot of African kids were not proud to say that they were African. A lot of them were like, oh, they were born here. They're African, but they were born here.
Or they just say they're Jamaican.
Oh, yeah. Or they would just say that they're Jamaican, which I thought was insane. But what do you think helped with, you know, people starting to be proud from where they were from?
I think we just grew up. We just grew up and we started realizing that actually this place isn't really for us.
Yeah.
I think we've just realized that, you know, we've been oppressed for a long time, and we need to understand. And you see with the whole Jamaican thing as well, like it dates back from Windrush times.
Yeah.
You know, they were the first black people, you know, to be, and then we came later. So you can just imagine, you know, a black person seeing another bunch of black people that do not necessarily have the same cultural mannerisms as them. So it's like, who are you? So the Caribbeans and the Africans always had that, you know.
That clash.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I guess now what's realized is that, you know, everybody needs to stay together, because at the end of the day, it's not really infighting. It's us against, you know, those people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I guess we just grew up, you know, out of it. We just realized that, yo, this is silly. How can we deny our identity?
I want to go back to your music, right? So when you first released your first album, tell me how you felt about that project.
So,
2017.
Funny thing is, that's not even an album. It's like it was just a project. All the projects that I've dropped, they're just like tapes, albums, body of work. I'm actually working on my very first album ever for next year. A Leap of Faith, which I believe is what you're talking about, was put together because it was me literally saying to myself, I need to take that leap of faith to start doing music full time, because I wasn't doing it full time.
Yeah.
I was juggling it with my 9 to 5.
What was your 9 to 5, Jules?
I was an investment banker.
Wow.
Yeah, I was an investment banker. My whole background is finance, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're smart. Going back to your first album, though.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your EP,
yeah,
like you said.
Leap of Faith, the project was put together for me to actually prepare myself for, you know, taking that step to actually quit. And I guess I was blessed to be able to work with people who just were fans of my sound from the beginning. Because I guess I had that run from 2014 to 2016 with the sound I had created.
Yeah.
With a few artists like Easy and Burna Boy and stuff. I feel like the Leap of Faith project, you know, the prolific ones on there are the prolific artists at the time.
Yeah.
Not that they're not now, but, you know, Malik Berry.
Yes.
Definitely for sure. Malogo, who's been doing this thing for the longest while. Kojo Farms.
Yeah.
Notes, UG. Well, all the other acts were acts that were in their own realm, you know, doing their own thing and have turned into superstars like Odunsi and Santi, and also Amadi, Tommy Agape. So I guess that project was an introduction to my sound and introducing the world to these new guys who hadn't heard about them. And yeah, the project is a lot of people's favorites. Other projects have come, like Ojeko, which I released on the day I turned in my resignation letter.
What does Ojeko mean, by the way?
It means good morning.
Oh, good morning.
It's my native tongue. But the reason why I call it Ojeko was because it's like good morning, so it's kind of like wake up. And it was kind of like figuratively saying, don't sleep on me, like wake up and then listen to what I have for you. And it was like literally 5 songs, which did very well. I had Burna Boy, I had Kunle Gold, Mr. Kede, and also Amadi, Te Iwa, Maloga. And I released it on my dad's birthday, and that's the same day that I turned in my resignation letter. So that project was special. It meant something. And then 2018 just started doing it, you know, full time. And it was like a blessing. A lot of bookings were coming. I was always in the States.
You being a DJ or as a producer?
Being a DJ.
Okay.
But when I would go to DJ, I would find the opportunity to have like a couple studio sessions.
Yeah.
So 2008, you know, I was in America a lot. I had sessions with Sango. You know, I was able to make records with Gold Link and be in the studio with Van Jess. And, you know, just being exposed to so many shows and, you know, just getting affiliated with some of these artists that you listen to all the time. And yeah, 2018 was kind of like the beginning, really. Got offered a deal from a label to release a mixtape. And then I released a mixtape the year after and did well. We actually celebrate that in a couple of weeks because the tape is actually a year old on the 26th of July.
What record label was it? Was it
Virgin. It was Virgin.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Virgin. Under UMG, under an imprint called Lost Ones.
Yeah.
So mixtape, 10 songs, color. And yeah, that tape had Koji Radical. He's special. I feel like he's just gone over everybody's head, but
Yeah, that's true.
when he starts to get big, he'll
Do
probably be
you feel
someone
like
else.
maybe you've always recognized people that were about to take off because maybe you're a genius deep down, or it's just the people that you were surrounded with at the time?
I think I'm a genius deep down. No, you know what it is? I just listen to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes you always want to try and play the numbers game because you want to be able to make your numbers and stuff. But sometimes you actually need to think about it strategically and say to yourself, you know what? This person sounds really good. If you make a very dope song and a very dope visual and story behind it,
Yeah.
then that'll be it. And I guess that's happened with a couple of songs as well. So yeah. I mean, I guess you know what it is. I feel like it's not. I wouldn't say I'm underrated. I'd say it's just people who try to put you in the box, but I just feel like I'm in my own sort of lane and I know what exactly I'm trying to achieve.
Well, yeah.
Of course, you want to be mentioned amongst the greats, but I think real recognized is real. Of course, you like to have all of these plaques on the wall and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, I just believe in very good music that lasts for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
So if somebody picks up or plays all my projects or puts them on shuffle,
Yeah.
they're gonna enjoy it, for the long as well. And that's what makes me, happy. Of course, the aim is to work with as many big artists as possible, and I always have my dreams and aspirations who I'd love to work with.
Yeah, I think you actually play a very important part in the music industry and the sound that we in generally.
Yeah.
I think in future people will realize maybe what you brought to the table and how important you were for music, because I do also think that some people seek you out because you've got a. I do think you have different types of sound, but you also have a specific sound that someone knows that, if they want a specific beat or a specific sound, they can come to you. And do you think that's almost like branding almost? Do you think that's a good thing, or do you think that kind of puts you in a box as well when you want to experiment with different sounds?
Well, this is the thing. So the album that I'm working on currently is you're going to hear a lot of different stuff. I think my last mixtape, Color, almost showed that, but I still showed a lot of African elements. But this time I'm trying to go like really, really deep into my musical influences. So like disco, garage, funky house. We'll definitely go to Africa and list like I'll still mess with my typical sound. But you're gonna hear my sound in all of these records, but it's gonna be very distinctive.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will show people a different side, and then I won't necessarily be put in that box that people speak of.
Yeah.
But then still be that go-to person when it comes to certain sounds.
Yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of makes sense. So they know he's gonna, flip it or surprise us. And just going back to your comments about people kind of like value what I do in terms of music and stuff like that. I feel that way too. And I recently got admitted into the Recording Academy for the Grammys. So I feel like that's an opportunity for me to push the agenda for my people's music more.
Yeah.
And it's gonna force me to educate myself on different genres of music, because you're responsible for pushing the agenda for your own people, and then also making like a significant contribution to submissions and nominations for the Grammys.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of black representation at the top there, so it's good.
Do you think us working with like American artists helps with the admissions, because you've worked with Gold Link?
It definitely helps. It definitely helps, but we need to remember that more time they will make it about them.
Yeah.
So it's important that you have a good PR brand structure so that if the release comes out, you know, there's noise made about you as well.
Yeah.
And then it catches on. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't want it to be a thing where they just put you to the side because, you know, you need to also show your resume, your credentials, because most of the artists are selfish and they don't really want their peers or their counterparts finding out who did stuff for them.
Yeah.
So that they can go to them and get, do you
Yeah,
understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's important that you get your branding and your PR aspect of things, you know, sorted. You need to make noise for yourself as well. People make the noise for you.
I want to talk about your EP, Happy Place. So I saw you at Vigo Deep's show, right? And then the very next day, I remember following you. The very next day, you were in here making a beat, and it was Amapiano. And at first, I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this, you know, because, you know, he might introduce the sound, or all these acts that are non-South African will introduce the sound, and then, you know, South Africans won't get anything from it, you know. But you surprised me when you went to South Africa and you collaborated with a lot of the big stars in South Africa, and I do feel like you paid a lot of homage to, you know, South Africa by learning and going to certain areas, even the videos that were shot, and also using people that are not as famous like Amos.
Yeah, that trip was amazing. Probably one of the best trips ever in my life. Because I've been to a lot of places.
Yeah.
It's there from the 28th of February to the 5th of March. Every single day was a highlight.
Yeah.
Every day was a highlight. Even from the day I arrived, which was late in the evening.
Yeah.
I just went across the road. They had some braai restaurant there.
Yeah.
I never knew what braai was
Yeah.
until I found out that it was barbecue.
Braai.
But yeah, it was so sick. Then the next day, I met up with Busiswa.
Yeah.
Said she was performing at, you know, this MTV
Thing, yeah.
this thing. And she performed. I mean, you see Busiswa on TV, YouTube performing with the energy.
Yeah, she's always
but actually,
got
say
energy,
her energy, even when she's speaking, she's always.
That's what clusters are.
Do you know
like,
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I got that because Moonchild is the same way.
Yeah.
But yeah, after the MTV thing, so we were in this club called Rockets.
Yeah, I've been there.
And then literally when we were about to leave, there was this next party going on, and then I look down and I see Puri and Kabza, you know, in the DJ booth. These guys are like having a full blown Amapiano party.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, we're not going anywhere. We're staying here. We went to find a table, and then later on, Busiswa moved me, and we went to go to Puri's area or whatever. And I've met Puri before. We've spoken before because he came to London, I think, for one concert with Wiz or whatever. So we were just, you know, chopping it up. I met a few other people, Robot.
Yeah.
And Kabza. You know, Kabza is very shy, doesn't really talk too much. So I met him as well. But yeah, that night, they played Amapiano. They played their own music for like 4 or 5 hours
straight.
straight.
They did that on purpose.
And it was just energy from the beginning to the end. Then, I think Sunday, my manager and we met up with Muesli.
Yeah, Muesli.
From MTV. We were on this rooftop barbecue, just drinking and eating and vibing and just talking and understanding, you know, their perspective on life. And then MF, our soul, came to perform.
Ooh.
And then the Monday, we went to Moja Cafe.
Yeah.
I've never been to a place where women are the ones popping the bottles and then just dashing the drinks all over the place.
Really?
Sending it to the guys at the back to like, this was, I've never seen anything like this. I have videos from it even. These girls were literally at the table next to us. And just living their best life.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then the next few days we went to Soweto. But at the Moja Cafe, that same day we went to shop. We went to some place in Soweto where there were these kids, playing like some street amapiano.
Yeah.
So the sound was even completely different
Yeah.
from the commercial stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's when I knew that there was levels to this thing.
Yeah.
And the version I had of Soweto Blues with Busiswa and Jazz Karis at the time was not even the version that I had now.
Yeah, I know.
So when the next day I was in the hotel, I just switched the drums over completely.
Yeah.
I remember just lying in my bed. I was like, nah, I need to change the drums a bit. So I changed the drums before the shoot the next day. So we had to shoot the next day. So Busiswa, when we were shooting, Busiswa was like, oh, this sounds a bit different. It sounds, do you know what I mean? And that same day, I had my studio session with Amos. I've been trying to reach, my manager and I had tried to reach Amos' team, but we couldn't. I think they finally saw the DM and they were like, no, we want to have the studio session. Yeah. So we went to Tembisa to go and
Tembisa.
we went to record that song. And I just remember it being such a long drive. When I came back to London, we were just, exchanging ideas, and then Amos was like telling me, with Amapiano, there's a certain groove to it, and I was like, okay, I'll try it. But the thing is, I don't want it to be too Amapiano because I want the cultures to blend, properly. That's why I added different instruments with regards to the sax and the guitar and everything.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with South Africa. You guys are dealing with a lot of pain. People express their pain through music, through dance, through culture, through their food, and they try and have they just like to have but South Africa was different. The vibe was different, but people were still having I've never seen that before. You can go to clubs where it's bougie and it's just
you stand in the corner, pop champagne.
Well, I mean that's some people. The type of person I am is if you go somewhere and I see that people are trying to be on some bougie thing, I just go straight to the bar, have 1-2 drink, if it's your people, and then just enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
However, if I see that it's getting to a point where this place is actually dead, I'll just leave.
Really?
Absolutely.
So, Sango.
Yeah.
Sango.
Sango.
You released a couple of songs with him. Actually, how did that come about?
Connected with Sango last year when they came to London for Selection. Selection had an event in the summertime last year.
Yeah.
And we met up, and he said, if we should collaborate on some production or whatever. So I sent him those 2 ideas that are on the project. I sent him those. They were pretty much done in my eyes, but then he took it to a different level with the baile funk and stuff like that. We were like, okay, cool, we've got these 2 beats. Should we look for people to go on it?
Yeah.
And we just said to ourselves, let's just put it as an instrumental project, and that's what we did. So it was literally done remotely, and it was fun. Because we were both talking about our experiences culturally. He's African American, but I think he's done his research and he's traced where he's from and stuff. But I know where I'm from, so I guess, not to say that it doesn't know where he's from, but it's like, just understanding our cultural experiences and education as well, which brought the tape, together as well. And it's done very well as well.
Yeah, because I can definitely, when I listen to the songs, I can definitely hear you, and I can definitely hear Sango as well.
Yeah,
and I'm actually a fan of Sango as well. I love the beats that, he always creates, or the remixes that he makes.
Yeah.
And I like his collaborations as well. What is the most craziest feature you've had that blew your mind?
I think when I'm making songs, I always create, the concepts in my head.
Yeah.
And then think about the best person who will bring that to life. So you would reach out to a number of people. But I guess my job is, because some of them are done remotely, it's just about how I rearrange whatever is sent to me. And I'm fans of certain people, so there's certain people I would like to have on a project. What's the most out of this world collaboration? I'll probably say Koji Radical.
Really?
Yeah, normal. Cause normal, that type of beat that's kind of like modern day grime if you want to think
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it. And we both don't do those sounds.
Yeah, yeah.
So, when we put the record out, we thought it would do a madness. But the thing is, people weren't too familiar with those sounds that we do. But it's still a big record.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that collaboration with Koji Radical was, the one I feel like was out of this world.
Okay, what about best producers? The top 5 producers.
Timbaland, the Neptunes, Jay Dilla, Kanye West, and the last one I'll probably have to give it to Dr. Dre.
Okay.
Yeah, so Timbaland, the Neptunes, Dr. Dre, Jay Dilla, Kanye West.
Okay. So, talk about your new single with
Miraa May and Donaeo.
Yeah.
So again, it's a new sound that I got, sort of like introduced to because of Sango. I just started listening to a lot of Brazilian Latin music as well. And that's a very good market. But I wanted to make it a bit more housey and remind people of like, back in the day, funky.
Yeah. I think Donaeo brings that to the record.
Exactly, Donaeo brings that. But what Miraa May brings to the record is very sultry. Her voice is very soft. And it's just smooth and soothing. So it gives that summer mellow vibe. Donaeo brings that energy funky to it. And that's what I wanted to do, like a funky, like a summer record, so to speak. And the song talks about manifesting good things in your life.
Yeah.
I was exactly. I was speaking about healing.
Yeah.
And being able to provide music for people who need that healing.
Yeah.
In their lives, so you make it feel good.
You think it was important for you to do something like that, especially with like Happy Place and these new singles that you're bringing out? Do you think it's also part of the Black Lives Matter movement?
The whole Black Lives Matter situation. I don't want to make a record that is by force.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand what you mean.
It's but there's so many ways that you can support the cause. Do you understand? There's so many ways. Music is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
But I'm not that person who's gonna be like, alright, we need to do a soundtrack for this Black Lives Matter and shoot a video where we're protesting.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those as well. Yeah.
Which is cool. Like, it's good to spread the message. I feel like it's the Americans who need it more. Because I guess it's a lot different there.
Yeah.
In terms of like the message, getting it to them. But there's so many ways of supporting the cause. Black business-owned companies, invest in that. We need to work on unity. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fighting for a lot of these policies that have been passed that don't support ethnic minorities. Some of these terms need to be scrapped. Urban, BAME, all of these things.
Yes.
Like,
I agree.
there's all these things that we need to be fighting for, and yeah.
Do you think we also part of the cause though by actually labeling them by black businesses or
I mean, we have to call it black.
Okay.
I mean, we need to be distinctive. I mean, when they're asking you to fill in the form, they're actually asking you to tell who you are.
But you just said that you want that urban thing to be moved away. What's the difference?
It's just derogatory. I just feel like that word urban, like, is just derogatory. If it's black, just call a spade, not toothbrush. Do you know what I'm saying? If I see a black person across the room, it's a black person.
Yeah.
Don't beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Giving it certain names. Even the term minority itself,
Yeah, I don't like that
It's
word
even
either.
derogatory in itself. Basically, you're putting us in, you know, the space where we are belittled. You know,
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
those things need to change. It will change with time. But, bruv, it's black. It's a black business owned, entity. You just call it that. Don't call it, or it's black music. There's a lot of music that we brought to the table. Hip
Yeah.
hop, house music, rock and roll,
Yeah.
garage. These are all genres of music that we created.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you understand? And those have names. But when they're trying to talk about hip hop and stuff like that, they don't want to call it pop. They want to call it urban music. What?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to
Yeah,
me.
that's true.
So
Okay, so where's the first place you're traveling to after this lockdown is finito? Or where would you love to go back to go to?
Need to go to South Africa again.
Again.
Yeah. Need to go to
Most
South
people will
Africa
argue
again.
and say, but Ghana,
Bruv, I lived it. Like, come on.
Okay, that is your country.
It's my country.
But people are just only getting put onto Ghana now.
That's
recently
fine.
after the festivals and stuff.
So they can all go there.
And
So
then
that
you're going to SA.
there's enough space for us to enjoy. Definitely want to go to South Africa and Jamaica.
Okay.
Those two places. South Africa and Jamaica. Those are the places that I want to go to relax. Those places are, in New York, those three places are where I get my inspiration to create.
Yeah.
So,
Jules, how old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay, you're 34 years old. So marriage, kids, are you married?
Married soon. Kids, nah.
Married soon?
Yeah.
So are you engaged?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, I'm engaged.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known. I thought you were single.
It's not cool. It's a commitment that needs to be made.
Yeah.
It's when you're with someone and you love them and you want to build a future with them, so you need to start making those commitments and stuff.
Are they African as well?
It's one person, but yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We don't do polygamy.
Is she African?
Yeah.
She African as well.
Yeah, she's Ghanaian.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad she is.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because you're so black, and I love that you're black.
Yeah.
And I'd love your wife to be black.
Absolutely.
Do you think? Do you have a problem with women having a problem with black men don't support us? Do you think it's very important for us to see a lot more representation?
I mean, the truth is we don't. That's just actually the honest truth, without even trying to be defensive. More time we don't. If anything, you guys defend us more.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Thank you.
Oh no, but this is
that's is good.
This is fact. But we need to do better, and we need to learn as well. We can't be oblivious. So sometimes when you get guys saying that the women should teach us and stuff, not really, because we never taught them.
Yeah, that's
how
true.
to support and treat us and stuff like that. So we need to do the same.
When can we expect your next album?
Well, let's hope that it's soon. I can't really say.
Yeah.
But soon, I hope.
You're not signed.
Mm-mm. You
I
trying
feel
to
like
trying to sign us? You got money?
I can
you can.
make a plan.
If you got money, let us know.
I can make a plan because I think you're really talented, and I think you could make me a lot of money actually.
I can make you a lot of money.
Yeah. Because it's a partnership, wouldn't it be?
Yeah. But you see the way you said that right now, I will not even sign with you anymore.
Why?
Because right now you just made your intentions clear.
No, but I think you
don't want to build the brand. You don't want to build.
I said it's a partnership. It's a partnership.
You said
I want you to make lots of money, and I want to make lots of money.
You're already off the list.
Oh
so
wow! Well, thank you very much for having us, Jules.
Thank you for having me. This was good. This was really good.
Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Thank you. Shout out to your manager.